What's going on, Laker fans? What is going on? Let's let some of these give everybody a second to get in here. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Lakers lose to the Knicks. They've lost 3 or 4 games, not playing good basketball. Not a good stretch for Lakers basketball right now. We're going to obviously spend a lot of time on it. Who wants to bitch and complain? Put in the comments what you're not happy about right now. Put in the comments what's bothering you about Lakers basketball right now. I'll try to get to as many of those comments as possible. The more details you can give, the more I can kind of expand on it. So I encourage you to be interactive. I encourage you to give your thoughts on the game. But Lakers have lost 3 and 4. And since the in-season tournament championship, I even have my in-season tournament banner here. I even have my shirt, not because I went and bought it, because literally it was sitting on the seat that I do the pregame show on. I'm down for a freebie. I'm always down for a freebie. You get a freebie my way. I'll find a way to rock it. The reality is I have a lot of these shirts, and I've not known what to do with them. And then I'm like, why don't I just start wearing them when I start doing my postgame show? So anyways, we got a lot to get into. So Lakers have lost 3 or 4. I thought the Lakers and I got a lot of different things that I honestly want to get into. It's just a bad stretch of Lakers basketball. I don't know how else to put it. Where I really thought the Lakers are going to start building some momentum. Where I really thought the Lakers are, hey, once this in-season tournament is done, they got some games on their schedule that are very beneficial. And before you blink, they've lost 3 or 4. They split against the San Antonio Spurs. They lost to a Dallas team without Kyrie and a lot of role players. It's bad basketball. That's all I could tell you. And I'm not one to make much excuses. I think at the end of the day, it could be just as simple as black or white. They either won or they lost. There's some nuances into some of these games. How healthy are you? What guys you have available? Okay, I did that against the Spurs on Friday. The Spurs had lost 18 in a row. Okay, Lakers, they got guys that are out. What's my excuse against Dallas? What's my excuse against San Antonio when the Spurs dropped 45 on the Lakers in that fourth quarter and almost came back and won that game? What's my excuse against the New York Knicks, who've been pretty much parked in LA since Friday or Saturday, whenever it was, got blown out by the Clippers, and then the Knicks come back and beat the Lakers a couple of nights later. So not many excuses for me. Let me give you guys a quick vibe here of what some of these comments are. Again, if you would like to bitch and complain about something, do it. Just give me some details of it so then I could kind of expand on some of it as well. Rough loss. They'll bounce back. I'm surprised most people didn't see this letdown happening. It was really totally bound to happen after the in-season tournament championship. Ja Green, I appreciate it. I appreciate your honesty. But what am I supposed to do with that? An in-season tournament championship is supposed to derail the Lakers. Those are regular season games anyways. And if you look back, I was going to do this a little bit later, but I might as well do it right now. Who did they really beat in the in-season tournament championship where you can sit back and say, okay, hey, they had to go through Milwaukee and Boston and OKC and Minnesota. I know that's not realistic, but you guys know where I'm going here. Pacers had to go through Milwaukee and Boston, so there was something there. Lakers were basically playing Utah, Portland, Memphis, and Phoenix to get out of their group. Had to beat Phoenix. Give them credit for that one. They beat the Phoenix Suns, and that was with Devin Booker and KD there. But then had to beat New Orleans and Indiana. So I have a difficult time. I'm going to top out the in-season tournament a little bit later. I think they've just played bad basketball. And if the reason why they're playing bad basketball now is because they're exhaling from the in-season tournament, that's a tough one for me to comprehend. I don't really understand what that means. People that are trying to make that case that, oh, well, it's because they had to go through the in-season tournament. Is a tournament that big of a deal where you had to exert so much effort there to where then it takes away from your effort after, or you have a letdown because of the in-season tournament? It's the in-season tournament. Like, is it that big of a deal? I don't think it's that big of a deal. You were trying to win games anyways. I appreciate the comment. I just disagree with it. Inconsistent is the name. I'm good with that. This is an interesting one. So John Ireland, who obviously does the Lakers broadcast on radio, obviously does a show on 710 ESPN. When I was getting up, I was just finishing the pregame show. Him and I were chatting, and he's like, Slee, do you know the Bulls just beat the Philadelphia 76ers, who had won 6 or 7 in a row? He's like, how about that timing? We get Chicago after that game. I'm like, of course we do. Of course we do. By the way, Minnesota after that, OKC after that. Those are 2 road games. That's what you got just this week. And then a week from today, it's Christmas, and you got Boston. So there's a lot of challenges coming up for the Lakers. 13 of 31 from 3, not great. How about this for an idea? I'm not a head coach. I'm not somebody that will currently be a head coach in the near future. You knew it was coming. There's been like 6 or 7 post-game shows where I haven't sneezed, so you knew it was coming. That was going to come. I'm not a head coach. I don't think I'm going to be getting a call from the Lakers anytime soon and saying, hey, Slee, hey, just checking to see, we got some room here on our bench. Would you like to be an assistant coach on the sidelines here? But just to play off of that comment there, 13 of 41 from 3, not great. How about you stop taking threes if the shot's not falling? This is one thing I don't understand in today's NBA that is so incredibly confusing to me is players and teams who are not hitting threes or just don't have it going for a night just shoot themselves out of games because they just keep taking threes. It's the stubbornness. It's kind of the way the NBA is played today. Right before I came on, I was listening to James Worthy on Spectrum, and he was saying, hey, shots not falling. It's okay to take a couple dribbles in. I know for a lot of NBA players, a lot of shooters, guys that everything's based on rhythm, you could get back into a rhythm like that, but usually it's because you got to the free throw line, you got a layup, you got an easy bucket. I thought the Lakers were just firing off threes, and listen, they hit some of those threes. Maybe they win this game, but they didn't, and they weren't. So why should I give them the benefit of the doubt on that? Couple things here I'm going to point out. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that. Purple and gold on the super. Thank you for the super. If you throw a super, it gets read 100%, and I'm going to still do everything I can to read some of the other comments as well. They will run through Anthony Davis until the fourth quarter. Then it's let's completely go away from that and let LeBron take pull-up threes. Yeah, Bron had a couple pull-up threes. You know, first thing I thought of when those pull-up threes started happening, yeah, those don't fall. The game is basically over, and the game was basically over. Inconsistent is the name. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. We trash. I got a couple things I'm going to get into in 2 seconds here. Lakers trash. Another trash. Very upsetting. I need to vent, Sliwa. The road trip has been a disaster. The road trip, they're back home today, and then the road trip before that, now they're going to go back out on the road. And I'm with you. It has been a disaster. I think that portion of it has been very frustrating, that you thought Lakers were going to start playing some good basketball, and that's not the case. Okay, let me wrap here for a little bit. I got a couple things that I want to get into, and then we could take it from there. First off, I'll say this from the Lakers. And I want to, I took some notes here, so I just want to look at my notes here real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything before I get into a couple of topics. Can you guys help me on the good teams the Lakers have beat so far this year? The good teams. Because what I'm starting to worry about with this Lakers team, we might run through crappy teams, but can I point out all the teams that I would say are good or above 500 and give you the result of those games? And I count the Knicks as one of those teams that's a good team, as in they'll be top 5 or 6 in the Eastern Conference, maybe win a round at best, but matchups have to be perfect for them. But let me just point out here all the good teams that the Lakers have lost to so far this year. And I worry about that because I'd rather see them going up against good teams, beating good competition, and then we take it from there. But let me point it out, okay? At Denver, they lost. I won't even point out where, just I'll point it out. Denver, Sacramento, Orlando, Miami, Houston, Sacramento, Dallas, Philly, OKC, Dallas, New York. These are all good teams on the schedule. They got some good wins too. Don't get me wrong. Houston, they have a couple wins against. Phoenix, they have a couple wins against. Indiana, New Orleans, I think, is above 500. It's not that they've beaten nobody, but a lot of their losses are against teams that are above 500, which indicates to me that when they play good competition, they're not as good as the competition. And I think, right now they're in an interesting stretch because I think that in-season tournament that everybody keeps talking about, is because they had such a high for the in-season tournament. I mentioned this earlier. That doesn't process to me. But I'm looking at this Lakers schedule right now, and especially these last couple of weeks, the teams that they're going through, or every time that it's like, hey, this is a good test for the Lakers. Let's see what they can do with it. I don't feel like they're coming out on top. I don't want to hear about the San Antonio games because there's not much to talk about other than they had an L there. The Dallas game, they certainly had an L. If you want to give that stretch of Houston, Phoenix, and New Orleans, they won 3 games in a row there as a good stretch, fine. I'll give you that. I will give you that. But just to give you an idea, Houston, Phoenix, and New Orleans, as far as the standings go, Houston's 13-11, Phoenix is 14-12. New Orleans 16-11. Actually, they smashed that team, and that's a team that's won 4 in a row and are 5 games over 500. So I'm gonna give the Lakers some credit there. As far as the stats go, I'm gonna point out a few things here. AD another 32 and 14, 2 block shots. He's kind of doing his thing, and I don't think anybody can really say all that much about Anthony Davis. Only thing I'd complain about is I wish he got to the free throw line more, but I don't really have too much to complain about. But I got some people I'd like to complain about. If I could take a second here and complain. Taurean Prince shot 13 threes tonight. He was 3 of 13. I know he's been shooting better from 3, but damn, you took 13 shots and all 13 shots were threes and you only hit 3 of them? That's awful. That's really, really bad. Okay, let me throw out some more players on the offensive end. LeBron was definitely not having an offensive night tonight. 10 of 23 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. Cam Reddish was 2 of 9. D'Angelo Russell is so incredibly inconsistent, period. Like I have no idea what D'Lo's going to do on a night in, night out basis, but he was 3 of 10 from the field. Okay, I'll keep going here with some other players. Reeves only shot 6 of 15 from the field, so Reeves had 20 and 7. Give him credit for that. I think he had 4 turnovers. But 6 of 15 is not an efficient number with 5 of 5 from the free throw line, which is good. I'm going up and down the roster. I'll point out another player, Rui. Can somebody tell me where Rui is kind of sat there and you're like, oh, man, I'm so glad we signed this dude to this contract. He's making 17 a year. And, man, is he a bargain and living up to expectations. I know he's had injuries and everything else. He's kind of been in and out of the lineup. But who offensively is impressive right now from the Lakers? That's an awful shooting night. Now, if you want to say, and I understand this, you could say that. You could say sometimes you just have bad shooting nights, but you're not wrong. But they've lost 3 of 4 games, and how they're losing these games I don't like. And against the Knicks team, if something's not working, try something different. If somebody wants to complain about the Darvin Ham front, hey, I don't like Ham's doing this, I don't like Ham's doing that. I actually literally had it in my notes today. What was my notes today? What bothers you most about Coach? Again, the more details I could get, the more context that I could give, I can make this a little bit more of an interactive conversation. But one thing that I'll say about Coach, I get the NBA is like, well, you're going to take the next shot. No, I would sit Taurean Prince down and be like, brother, it ain't happening tonight. Stop shooting threes. Or I would just take Taurean Prince out of the game because it's not happening, that his shot's not falling. And I know I'm picking a little bit on Taurean Prince. He took 13 threes and hit 3 of them. Last I checked, he's not Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller. You find some of the best NBA shooters, Kyle Korver, to ever do it. The man ain't one of those guys. And I know he's been shooting better from 3, but you got to be smarter with some of the decisions that you're making on the offensive end. I mean, if the Lakers just on offense were just a little bit smarter, a little bit more strategic, a little bit more of let's pump the brakes on the threes and let's start taking the ball to the basket, they probably easily win this game by 5 or 7 or 10 points. It didn't help as well. Lakers dug themselves a hole, came all the way back in that second quarter, actually took the lead by the time the first half was done. And then next thing you know, to end the third quarter, I think Lakers even went up 5 or 6. And for a second there, I'm like, hey, I think they're in a good position. I think LeBron hit a three, it went up to 6, and then quickly came right back and hit a 3 of his own. And then New York, I think, went on a 15-2 run to close out that third quarter, and it was lights out. So it wasn't lights out. I mean, obviously, this was a back and forth game the entire time, but that's a lot for me. That's a lot for me, and some of the decisions, like I said, some of these guys are making is difficult to try to understand. Okay, let me try to get some of your guys' comments here. Okay, just a quick one here. Okay, got it. Thank you. Thanks, Witten. Just a quick one from Witten one more time. Okay, Witten, thank you. Appreciate that. I think you guys got the gist of how Witten feels about the situation here. All right, let's see what else we got here. In-season tournament Lakers and regular season Lakers are two different teams. I'll go ahead and take the regular season. I'd rather them be successful in the regular season and not win the in-season tournament. Listen, I don't think the world's going to end, but I got some thoughts on that in-season stuff too, by the way. We're looking like crap, and the Clippers are playing like a championship team. I hate to say that you're right, but you're kind of right. Look, let's go look at the standings here real quick. What are the Clippers now? 16-10. They've won 8 in a row, 9 of their last 10. And how about their smashing teams? Look at their point totals these last couple of games. They put up 151 against the Pacers earlier today. They played the Knicks a couple days ago at obviously crypto. They put up 144 on they put up 144 on the Knicks. 121, 119, 132. They're putting up numbers. So Clippers are definitely playing some better basketball. I see a lot of Zach LaVine stuff. I see a lot of trade stuff. I don't really want to get into that right now. Let's go from there. Allen Vanderbilt averages 0.3 points per game. That dude can't face the basket. And listen, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, he didn't even take a shot today. Literally didn't even take a shot. I'm okay with that dude not worrying at all about offense. But what you can't have your team do is take 41 threes and hit 31%. And that's 32%. You can't have one guy go 3 of 13. 2 of 8 was LeBron. D'Lo actually hit 50% of his threes, but he was 3 of 10 overall. Those are awful, awful stats. Once again, overreacting. Correct. I am overreacting. What do you want me to do? Pretend like they haven't lost 3 or 4? All right, let's see what it is. The concern is the same concerns we had all season aren't improving to the level where we are consistently able to get results against playoff caliber teams. Big warning sign. Well, here's what they got coming up is some real playoff teams. Let me tell you what I mean by that. What is Chicago now? I know Chicago, I mentioned, won that game. They're 11-17. All right, forget the Bulls for a quick second. Best record. Actually, this is a better way of doing it. Let me look at the overall league right now. Okay. Lakers play the 20-5 Minnesota Timberwolves on the road Thursday, second of a back-to-back. They got Chicago on Wednesday. Then they play the 17-8 Oklahoma City Thunder, second best record in the Western Conference. Then they play the Boston Celtics on Christmas, 20-5, best record in the East. So you play the best record in the East, the best record in the West, and the second best record in the West in 3 of your next 4 games, and you've already lost 3 or 4. Of course we overreact. All right, let's see what else we got here. Slee is salty. A little salty. I'm a little salty. I mean, listen, I got my in-season tournament championship shirt. Okay, can I be honest with you guys real quick? If I want to do this right now, I'm going to do it. I'll do it in a second. I hear you, brother, but every game was intense, almost as it was a play. But what I'm trying to say, they know they can turn it on, turn off when they want. Ja Green, you're not wrong on that. And this is going back to him saying that this was expected because the Lakers were doing what they're doing. They won the in-season tournament, and now they put themselves in a position where it's like kind of taking the foot off their gas, taking their foot off the gas a little bit. Ja Green, I see what you're saying. And actually could be a very, very big advantage to being able to kind of turn that switch on and off. But this is where I have a problem with turning the switch on and off. That means they decided not to turn the switch on against Denver, Sacramento, Orlando, Miami, Houston, Sacramento, Dallas, Philly. These are all good teams. Oklahoma City, Dallas, New York. Don't you want to turn that switch on against good teams as well? So it's all great and dandy that everybody was pumped and excited about the in-season tournament. I was not. I thought it was cool, but it's all good. But the problem is now you've had a lot of games where you're like, hey, this is an important game. Turn the switch on. Well, it's flickering. It's not coming on. Power's not on. Oh, thanks, guys. Bless you, Alan. Bless you. Hey. It kept going. Allergic to bad basketball. Damn. Oh, Witten. Witten said something earlier. I don't know if you guys remember, but I flashed Witten is on his comment real quick on there. Bless you, Alan Sleewa. Thank you, brother. Jalen Brunson cooking on the Lakers. They have no answer for that dude. None. I've seen him. He had a game against the Phoenix Suns after Lakers played the Spurs. And I finished the post-game show here, and then I turned on. The game was on. Jalen Brunson had 50. He was 9 of 9 from the three-point line. I think he went for a stretch where he was 12 of 12 from the field. So when Brunson cooks. Brunson, I remember Luka one time had a game. This was a couple years ago. I think Russ was still on the team. And Brunson was in Dallas, and Luka was out for the game. And Jalen Brunson just torched the Lakers. I'm like, Jalen Brunson? You guys are really letting Jalen Brunson do this? And look what this man is doing now. 29 points, couple of threes, gets to the free throw line, draws fouls, gets that little floater, is able to put his body in between the defender and kind of do work within 7, 8, 10 feet of space. Legit player. Really, really nice player. Throwing up threes towards the end of the game versus dominating the paint. Rough to watch at the end, knowing if he just drove the paint. So, don't tell me. I'm with you on that. It's one of the most, for me, it's one of the most frustrating things. It's one of the most frustrating things is when a team continues to do the same thing and it's not working. Shots not falling. It's all good. If it's not falling, move on. All right, let me see some more of these comments here. Clippers, F my life. Clippers, question mark. No. Whether you guys like it or not, you got to give credit where credit's due. We haven't improved at all under this coaching staff. A trade improved this last season. I'm hesitant to give that credit to the coaching staff. Zach LaVine is on the way, Sliwa. Knicks played with a sense of urgency. Lakers did not. Can I ask you guys a quick question on this one? And then I'm going to get into the in-season tournament real quick. Knicks played with a sense of urgency. Lakers did not. Why does that happen way too often? Where it feels like the team is kind of on cruise control that tries to turn it on. Lakers have the ability to come back. We've seen that. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever questioning, hey, can the Lakers come back? Yes, they clearly can come back. No problem. That doesn't mean it's good basketball. That doesn't mean, you want to put yourself in a position where you're always playing from behind. You forgot our injuries, Slee. John East, you're not wrong. We've had some injuries. Tried pointing them out as well. I didn't point them out right now when we were talking. But I think there's been plenty of times where they had enough to win or they just dug themselves holes. So I'm not completely excusing the injuries, but here's the problem I have with the injuries. They got healthy, win the in-season tournament, and then since then, they lose to Dallas when basically everyone was there. Only Vandal wasn't, and Dallas was missing a lot of guys. San Antonio, I know they plugged and played a little bit, and not everybody was there. What about tonight? Everybody's there. right? So you can't kind of pick and choose when to say, well, our guys weren't there, and then pick and choose the other way as well. All right, let me get to a couple supers here. That stretch where Ham sat Austin Reeves early in the fourth. They had AD out too for a bit. You got to rest these guys at some point. So I kind of understand. Purple and gold, I appreciate the super. Thank you for that. But I understand, you got to give guys a quick little breather here. Glenn, appreciate the super. Why does NBA have an offensive 3-second rule when they don't call it? Why is there a defensive 3-second rule when they allow zone defense? Kind of a stupid rule, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody, if tomorrow they said, hey, if they took the 3-second rule out of effect, I don't think anyone would lose any sleep over it. I think it's fine. They don't want people just camping in the middle, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. They want to make sure that you're within arm's length of your defender. So that's why they do it. But I listen to Michael Thompson all the time say it's the stupidest rule in the NBA, or one of the stupidest rules. There's just no need for it. So Glenn, I appreciate the super. Appreciate the super from everybody. Arthur Johnson, when winning the tournament, they cautiously made beelines to the rim. Few threes. They're not the Golden State Warriors. Why not play their strengths and not weaknesses? Arthur Johnson, I appreciate the super. Listen, I'm going to continue to say this as well. I'm going to go through the same thing that I was saying earlier. I have no idea. Shots not falling. Simplify it. Take the ball to the basket. Try to get to the free throw line. Decide, like, this is where I would say coaching does come into play, is when you put your guys aside. Fellas, three's not falling. Can we just take a second, try to take a couple dribbles in, get into some kind of rhythm before we keep jacking up threes? Taurean Prince shot 13 threes. Made 3 of 13. That was all his shots. He never took a 2. Never came inside that 3-point line and took a shot or tried to get to the basket or slash to the basket or anything like that. Everything was from the perimeter. Okay. See what else we got here. All right, this is a good one for me to get into. So I'm at the game. I already kind of knew what was going on, that the Lakers were going to put up the banner. I don't know if you guys heard me for the last week or so. The whole week I was like, all right, fellas, I know they won the in-season tournament, but kind of tell me we're not putting a banner over where the other banners are. And when I got to the arena, lo and behold, there's like the black tarp, you want to call it, covering the banner. I'm like, so it's going right next to the other banners. So they put up the in-season tournament banner. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys because I should be honest with you guys. I don't know. The whole thing to me is like a song and dance. It's like a little, it's like a sideshow. I don't know what the hell it is. Like, can we stop trying to force it down everybody's throat? Like this tournament was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I enjoyed the tournament. I thought it was fun. I thought it added some excitement, and it added just a new flavor to the regular season. Awesome, cool, great. We're really putting a banner up where all the other championship banners are. I feel like they're forcing it down our throat. I don't even think it's the Lakers. I think it's the NBA. I think Lakers are like, all right, well, if they want us to play ball, we'll play ball. I'm sure the Lakers are just trying to be good partners and saying, okay, that's what they want us to do, then that's what we're going to do. And you know what? This in-season tournament, it's probably going to have big-time sponsors coming to it, and it's more revenue for everybody else. So everybody's like, let's just all buy in. But to a consumer, I know I'm a little bit unique because I also work for ESPN. I'm also doing a lot of Lakers coverage, but I'm also a consumer. I'm a fan of the game. I feel like it's forced down my throat here. I feel like they're just, hey, we want you to take as much as this in, whether you like it or not. And it's this overreaction to this 7-game tournament that it's, hey, let's do an unveiling. Let's try to make it a really big deal. Let's stick this banner next to the other banners where it takes 8 months to accomplish a championship, not 7 games. I thought the whole thing was kind of funny, to be honest with you. Like, is this really happening? Are they really unveiling a banner? I was in the tunnelway, and I just watched it from there, from the tunnelway, because it's next to the media room. So when I was done with the pregame show, I went down to the media room. And listen, they didn't make it obnoxiously big. They made it simple. And it is kind of on the side next to the Minneapolis banners or whatever the case is. But I just was watching this thing and I'm like, wow, they're really trying to make this a really, really big deal. Nothing you could do about it. I think just not my cup of tea. And I guess it just almost kind of churned me off into. Now, if the Lakers, maybe it's different, not different, but if the Lakers, what I thought they were going to do is after the in-season term, like this team's going to start balling. Like they're going to just keep winning. They're healthy. They got length. They got size. Guys can just excel at what they do best. But since the freaking tournament, the team has lost 3 or 4, and they look like they're just cruising. So I think there's a little bit, because that's happening, I think there's a little bit of kind of frustration of, did they just play good basketball because it was this tournament, and now all of a sudden it's just not as much of a priority? That seems pretty odd to me. The fact that they're such a long and tall team and struggling to maintain the rebounding emphasis concerning. By the way, that one is Casper. What's up, brother? Casper's good dude. Great follow on 710 ESPN as well. So run into that guy in a little bit. So I appreciate you being part of the show. The fact, too, that I will tell you, and I'll go to it on this, too, the Knicks, I want to say, are the number 1 rebounding team in the NBA. I was doing this in the pregame show. They out-rebounded the Lakers 52-41. It was just like, yeah, that's going to just happen. The Knicks are just going to outwork them, which then eventually – it's going to play advantage to the Knicks in some shape, way, or form. And eventually it did. Plus, they got to the free throw line 10 more times than the Lakers did. Okay, let me see a couple more of these comments here. Look at me going after the in-season tournament like that. I even took the shirt, too. I'm like, well, I'm freaking taking the shirt. So we got here from everybody. Same old, not prepared to play. Exactly, a sideshow. The banner's ridiculous. This is all an NBA thing, playing up the in-season tournament thing. I'm all good with people promoting stuff. I'm all good that we'll look back on the in-season tournament in 10 years and be like, hey, you know what? This actually, I think it's a good idea. But what I don't like is, don't shove it down people's throat. Hey, you're going to love this product. Okay, let us kind of take it in. We're going to unveil a championship banner. It's a 7-game tournament. Relax. Like let this thing organically just grow. Let this thing become what it is because the fans and the consumers decided this is cool. I want to be a part of it. I like where it's going. But forcing it in front of everybody's face, it's like, calm down there, Turbo. Calm down. Sliwa, the tourney had them playing 100% intensity, though. That's not realistic for 80 games. That's why we need another score to make it easier. Okay, let's get into that. I feel like a lot of people on this chat, at least, and I see trust me, I see the comments when you guys are saying, hey, they got to go out and they got to get, go get Zach LaVine or go get this player or that player. I understand why people are doing that. I understand why people are saying, hey, the Lakers they got to go out there and get more players. Here's a reality of the players that the Lakers have right now that you can trade, as in players that are making money that you can match salaries with, do have some talent. The two are obvious. It's D'Angelo Russell and it's Rui Hachimura. Those are the two players that you say, okay, one guy's making 18 a year or 17 a year. The other guy's making 17 a year. You put those two contracts together. Okay, where can we go do business? How can we go improve this? How can we go improve that? The one thing you got to remember is, well, does the other team want the players that you have? Or if it's just a complete salary dump, if they're basically just saying, hey, we don't give a flying, you know what? If you just take Zach LaVine's contract and that contract could come off the books, we'll take our chances with Rui and D'Angelo Russell. I'm sure you're going to have to throw in more compensation, whatever it is. But I think the Chicago Bulls are also going to get other offers from other teams out there. Me personally, I think Zach LaVine's game, I think there are some positives to his game, but I'm also, do I think that that's the savior? I think go get you buckets. Yeah, I think he could definitely go do that. I think he's a high flyer. I think he's athletic. Can we know of what other players are going to be available? Like, I feel like we're all just attached to Zach LaVine because Zach LaVine is the only player that we're really hearing being rumored, and he's so openly being rumored. I've heard this before as well. I think it was Jovan Bua mentioned this in The Athletic. Well, what if you can try to make a play for DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso, one of the best defenders in the NBA, and another bucket getter that's kind of under a more controlled offense? And you don't have to – I don't think the Lakers – Zach LaVine seems like a guy that you're saying because his contract is so long, you have to be thinking about past LeBron with Zach LaVine. I don't think they want to think past LeBron right now. I think just want to think, how can we win with Bron and Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves? By the way, I'm sure every team out there, if they're going to make a trade for the Lakers, they're going to ask for Austin Reeves, and I don't think Austin Reeves is I don't think he's for sale. So that's the reality on that one. Okay, real quick here to all my people out here. Let me give a quick shout out here to Underdog Fantasy. Let me give you also the code, which is Hoops LA. For those who don't know, Underdog Fantasy is a proud partner of this channel. I'm going to continue to grow this channel. I appreciate your guys' support. Underdog is obviously helping out with that support as well by partnering with me on the channel. If you guys have never played Underdog Fantasy before, but you are somebody that likes daily fantasy sports, or maybe this is the first time that you're hearing about it, let me tell you a little bit about it, okay? Really, really easy to play. I do pick'ems. I do pregame, as in games that have not happened yet. This is going to be games for tomorrow. I do the NBA. Why? Because I'm an NBA fan. I'm an NBA nut. All it takes, let me see here. All right, I want to see which game that I want to pick. Okay, I'll go with the big games. Okay, Memphis and New Orleans, and I'm just gonna do this because Ja Morant is coming back as well. We'll see if they threw Ja Morant in there. Let's go BI. Let me tell you guys how this works. So, if you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, use the code HoopsLA. If you put $100 in, they'll match that $100. You have free $100 to play with on the website. You don't have to put 100. You could put 50. You could put 10. You could put any amount that you want. You just can't go over $100. So if you put $10, they'll match that 10. You have 10 free to play with. This is how you play. I'm going to go Brandon Ingram. I just got to pick two of these, and it's just got to be higher or lower. So Brandon Ingram, higher than 22.5 points or lower. Let's give BI the credit of the doubt. Let's go higher. I want to actually see if there's another game that I can pick. Let's go Dame. Dame's taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Higher than lower than 26.5 points, I'll go higher. Here are my two picks right here. That's it. Simple as that. Brandon Ingram, Damian Lillard. I put in the amount that I want to bet. I put $10 in. If I win, if I get both of these correct, I win $30. It pays out for $30. So that's how that works. It's very simple. Use the code HoopsLA. I appreciate you guys hanging out as I give the message here. Also, another very important message with Underdog Fantasy. If you got an issue or a problem gambling, 1,000%, obviously 1-800-GAMBLER is the number that you can go to. But I want nobody playing this unless this is something that you're just doing kind of as a side thing, as a fun thing, and not putting a lot of funds into it. If you feel like you're not comfortable with it or you can't control yourself, 1-800-GAMBLER. So 100% if that's the case. But like I mentioned, Underdog Fantasy is the site, and use that code HoopsLA. Okay, let me read a few more of these comments here, and then we got the next game coming up as well. All right, got Lakers will not win another game in December. Yes, they will. We'll be fine. D'Lo as a starting point guard is starting to worry me. LBJ. All right. Another game. DeRozan equals 0 spacing. We are just a regular season playing tournament, not a championship team. Yeah, I got a lot of people. I bet you a lot of people, I think, feel the same way. About how the Lakers just kind of put themselves in a position where they're just inconsistent, and you want to see them in a position where it's not going to be like this, and we'll kind of see as the season progresses. But so far, there's definitely been some inconsistencies. All I want for Christmas is a win over the Celtics. You're not the only one, brother. Okay, let me just get this in here real quick as we're already past 40 minutes. Next game coming up for the Lakers, Wednesday versus Chicago. So I mentioned this. This one kind of came out of nowhere. The Bulls played earlier today. They're not that good of a team. They're 11-17. They beat the Sixers at Philly. Somebody want to explain to me how that happens? Let's see. Chicago. Kobe White gave you 24. Vucevic gave you 23. Alex Caruso gave you 10. So they had some guys compete, 108, 104. I guess that can happen where you can just have a team walk into another team's arena and just walk away with the W. But at Chicago, that's where the Lakers are going to be Wednesday. To be honest with you, I fully expect the Lakers to win that game. But you just never know what happens. You've heard a lot of trade talks, a lot of rumors between the Lakers and the Bulls. And I don't even think anything's active. But that just comes with the territory of the Lakers. And then after Chicago, you're at Minnesota the next day. Friday, you're at the Oklahoma City, or Saturday at the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's a tough week. And you already started out this week 0-1. Things are not trending. I think also great for the Lakers right now. So something to keep in mind. Okay, you guys got any more comments here? Get them in right now. If not, we are calling it a day. Happy holidays to you as well, Satro. Thank you, brother. I expect Levine and Caruso to show up. Yeah, you're right about that. Some of these guys might be auditioning for the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, Lake Show. That's all I got. I appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the show. Let's call it a night here. Let's get everybody off the channel. How long do you think if I just waited here to get that number down to 0 for everyone to leave, how long do you think I'd have to wait? Down to 151. So we keep going down here. It's getting maybe in that 140 range and then 130. Nobody's going anywhere. This is awkward. Nobody's leaving. 141. Okay, we got some people leaving. We get down to like 115-ish, something like that. 139. We're in the 30s. Now I feel like this is backfiring. People might have curiosity. They might say, well, if he's not going to go anywhere, then I'm not going to go anywhere. If it grows, then we have issues. All right, we're not going to sit here. Nobody's even going anywhere. 136. What's for dinner? It may reverse. Sleep was the parent trying to put us to bed. What's for dinner? I already ate dinner. Okay. First off, that is, look, this is the, I asked you guys to leave. Nobody's leaving. First off, I already ate dinner. Okay. And what exactly I ate, it's none of your business. I'm still angry. It's reversing. Went up to 140. We got it down to like 136. And now all of a sudden there's 4 other people saying, what's this idiot doing? And why is he not coming off? Let's leave it on. Tell us a story about a championship team that doesn't exist. So we'll grab an espresso. Guys, I got work in the morning here, okay? Got to get the hell out of here. I think we're done. Seriously, guys, get off the channel. I got nothing left. All right, I'm going to leave it on. I'm going to come back in like 5 minutes. Leave it on. That number better be down to like, it went up again. It used to go down to like 100 by the time I come. I'll come back in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, I'll come back. 10:47, I'm back at 10:52. Let's just see what the number is. And for those that are actually ending up coming back on, then they're going to be incredibly confused. Look, it's going down now. I'll come back in 5. Come here. All right, you guys want to meet Rookie? Let's get Rookster in the house here. All right, Rook, come up here. Can you come up here? Come here. Come here. Come here. I think you guys can see Rookie. Damn it, Rookie. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah, he's not happy. Go. There. Rookie. Look. Sit. Don't get on. Rookster. 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 Say hi to these people. Rookie. It's crazy. You won't do it. Camera's still high. Are you going to get on camera? Brother, bring the freaking camera down. Rookie. What's wrong with you? Hey. Can you say hi? Can you say hi? Come here. Come here. All right, that's Rookster. He's a good man, that Rookster. Good man, that Rookster. All right. I tried. I tried picking him up. He bit the living hell out of me. The hell you want me to do here? Brooke, what's going on with the Lakers, bro? What's going on with this team? Huh? How do we stop Jalen Brunson? All right, guys. I think that's all we got for tonight. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Next time I'll actually bring this guy on. Hi, y'all. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll do it again. What's today? Chicago boy. Chicago boy. We'll do it again after the Lakers take on the Chicago Bulls on Wednesday. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Say bye, Rook. Say bye, bro. Say bye.